Goddamn relates.
Man, it'd be nice if y'all try to get Snoop in here. He's still in town for a little bit, right?
He's not doing no press.
No, he's not doing nothing? Mm-mm. He talked to
Yeah. I did. He said even the press that he had booked for some big shit, he's like, he's not fucking with it.
That sucks.
Yeah. You good?
Yeah.
All right. I'm excited.
Yeah,
man.
right?
Yeah, man. Like, bro, you know, we watch each other in this game because we're both like media personalities. Right. And originally we didn't come from being media personalities.
You know, came from the streets.
Yeah. And like
it's
from different parts of the industry, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I always say it's a special interview or special guest today, but like to me it's like really, really, really special.
I appreciate that.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you interview people.
Yeah, and I was thinking that on my way here. I'm like, it's trippy. Like, I can't remember the last time I was interviewed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm on the other side of the table asking the questions, right? What's poppin', y'all? It's your man Ricochet, and if you're just tuning in, joining us live from the Made in Toronto studios, my guy Free in the building. Right?
Yeah, man, and it's dope because like you're doing like you're on the main urban station of our city.
Right. Well, the only urban station in the country.
Yeah. Really?
Nothing. In the whole fucking country. There's not one other hip-hop station in a country of, 35 million people? How much people live in Canada? 35, 40 million?
I never even really took that in.
Yeah, man. And remember, that was gone for a minute.
Yeah.
That was gone for a minute, right?
Let's talk about that for a quick second. There was a little space and time where, like, the format changed over there.
They changed the format. So it was like, it was a hip-hop station, and then it went throwbacks for a minute. I guess it was an experiment or whatever the situation might have been.
Yeah.
And I guess at that point, they realized, they're like, fuck, okay, there's a void. So, you know, in between that time, I kind of like took a step back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? For me, I got to love something. Like, I really got to have a passion. Like, a job is a job, and that's cool, but that's not what I'm in it for. You know what I mean? I'm here, like, because I love something. Because, you know, we live, breathe, and, yo, this is like culture for real. Like, if somebody asks me what my religion is, and I'm not trying to sound blasphemous or anything, like, it's the culture. This is like, defines everything. You know what I mean? Defines the way we talk, the way we walk. Like, just everything is based off of this. So, like, it has to be that for me to want to do it. You know what I mean? So I took a step back, and then when it came back, the opportunity was given to me, like, yo, you know, you want to come back? And and what really was dope was like the fact that the Made in Toronto takeover had come up, and that, like, I mean, like you said, going back, right? Like, that's always like me. I come from the DJ thing, right? So Ill Kidz. So, like, that was always
let me stop you for a second because I haven't even introduced you. You know what I'm saying?
We just started
going, right? Yeah. We got Ill Kidz, Ricochet in the building. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, continue, because you came from those times, from the DJing and
from DJing, from being in the clubs, and we're talking like what? Like, I don't want to age myself here, but 93. 93 is when this shit all started, and like going back then, it was. If it wasn't a DJ breaking a record from the city, who's breaking a record? Yeah. Right? It's just college radio and the DJs. And a lot of DJs are scared to break records them time. They're like, nobody. And I'm talking like Citizen Kane, Ghetto Concept.
Wow.
You remember Red Life? You know what I mean? Smugglers.
Wow.
Point Blank. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
them
who's breaking these artists?
Yeah.
So it was just like, that's always been something that I kind of felt like was my lane. Like, yo, I'm gonna be the guy to break records. I'm not scared. Like, if it means there's 1,000 people in the club, we're gonna stop the music, and I'm just gonna be like, yo, Drake, for instance. I think the first time Drake ever played in the club was at Escape or some shit.
Okay.
Back whenever, you know what I mean? He was just hanging there, and I was like, fuck it, we're just gonna stop music and put the city on. You know what I mean? It took a while for everybody to catch on. But
you're one of the first people who played City is Mine in the club.
I wasn't even City is Mine. I can't remember what it was before City is Mine. It was before City is Mine.
Wow.
City was Mine is after. You know what I mean? That was like a year, 2 years after he had dropped the first mixtape, I believe. I could be wrong. But
I think Do It or something like that was
something the track. Like that. I can't remember what it was, but
early,
my guy. You know, so
the transition though into being a radio host. How did that happen? How did that work out?
Like we were just saying before we started recording, it's like, man, like I was starting to think, I'm like, yo, am I gonna be in the clubs for like 40 years? Like, is that, like, I don't know if I want to do that. You know what I mean? Like, even if I can, do I want to do that? So it's like, radio is just always, like, I had my first radio show at CHRY when I was like 16 years old, while I was still in school, right? So, like, I mean, it just felt like, you know, everybody always comes to you like, man, you got a voice for radio.
Yeah.
But, you know, we're in the streets tossing it up. It's like, fuck, I ain't trying to really hear all that. You know what I mean? But, like, as I got older, I was like, yo, this is something that, going back to it, like, the opportunity to break records on the Made in Toronto Takeover was, like, the reason I'm like, okay, this is why I really love radio. But, I mean, it just felt like a natural transition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if I can make a living off of using my voice for the rest of my life, then that's what I'm finna do. You know what I mean? Because that's what I love, right? Like, I just love to shoot the shit. Yeah. So if you could turn that into a gig, then why not?
It's a lovely gig to have. Yeah. And even like being at like that's the at a station of such a magnitude, right? Everybody listens to it when it comes to looking for, you know, whether it's the Made in Toronto,
right,
or just, you know, people on their ways to work who want to hear hip hop music or like R&B, right? Right. What's one of the biggest misconceptions about that place? About
the station?
Yeah.
I think maybe, and it might not have to do with the station, but more the audience. I think everybody thinks our audience is the 25-year-old young person that's in the culture, right? That looks like us, talks like us. And that's not the case, at least in today's day and age. You got the 48-year-old, 49-year-old mother with 2 kids in the SUV taking them to school, listening to Lil Baby. And that's what gets my, like, yo, that's what I get off on. I'm like, yo, like, I answer the phone sometime and I'll be like, I could just tell this is an older person. And they're like, yo, what song was that? I'm like, are you fucking serious? Like, you're rocking with that shit? Like, and you're like in your like mid 50s?
What's the craziest calling you ever got?
Oh man, like shorty sometimes call on some real shit, like it trips me out, and I'm like, yo, I'm good, mama, thanks for the call, but I think somebody was fucking, man, and they had called to request a song. Like, I swear, I was like, yo, are y'all fucking there in the background? And they just were laughing, and I'm like, yeah, y'all are fucking back there, and like, y'all calling me, like, am I involved in this whole situation now? But it's probably the wildest call.
So you could hear the
I heard somebody smashing for sure.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I can't put my finger on it, but like I think somebody was smashing.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Okay, I want to go back a bit. Okay? Because, you know, being a Renaissance man, I will call you.
The man said a Renaissance man. Holy.
A man that you've seen different things go through in the times, right?
Right.
And you're originally from Toronto.
Yeah, hell yeah, of course.
So you're an East End man, no?
Nah. Around Jane and Finch.
Oh.
Yeah, I went to school in Jeffries, man.
Why did I always think you were East End, man?
I don't know. I always felt like the East End was like another country. You know what I mean? Once you pass like, over Young, for me, coming from the West, like, it just felt different. You know what I mean? Growing up is like, you never went to the men's unless it was a house party or something. You know what I mean? Like, you maybe go check a little thing out in Malvern or whatever, but it's like, no, I'm from the West End.
So, what was life like as a teenager up there?
Oh, man, you know what it is like? It was crazy, man. I mean, I'm sure it's crazier now. Well, it is. But I always say, like, I'm a product of my environment.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like the hood made me who I am, and growing up on the West, like at least them times are like I felt like all the heat as far as rap music, at least in my world, was coming out of the Recs or coming out of the West. And like I remember like mid 90s, like everything was coming out of the Recs.
Yeah.
Like the whole grassroots movement, like
Ghetto
Concept, like G7, like Red Life, the list just goes. Jelly is like so I mean it was dope growing up there. Like that, you know, sometimes I say, was it for the better or for the worse? Because like, you know, going back to Ill Kids, I think we were labeled like that hood sound. You know, we almost had a pass. Like we can go to any hood, whether it be, and especially in this day and age, like Finchmen are not riding to the town and going to a block on everybody's, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like, that sucks, you know what I mean? I hate to see that. Because back in the 90s, like we could ride anywhere. Whether it be up top, whether it be down the lane, whether it be Malvern, whether it be Regent Park, Bleak, or wherever it was, like being a sound man that came out of the hood, it's almost like everybody gave the sound man the pass. So it's not even like there was no polys involved, none of that bullshit. It was just about like, man, I'm rocking a party, the DJ's good. You know what I mean? And I felt like we were able to like connect dots too, like connect hoods a little bit. And maybe sometimes where there were some issues, I think being in the middle and being the DJ coming out of the hood we were able to squash some of that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think that exists as much anymore.